Candice. I've been teaching since 2012, which would make it my 5th year now of teaching. My kind of teaching is trying to give the kids what they would experience with their friends. So my class are high energy, high volume, just to give them a sense that this isn't a place where they need to feel torture, that they actually enjoy it. So that they walk in and there's laughs and there's jokes, but when we work, but it's got that cool feel to it, that non-boring feel to the lesson. Every year I have that moment where the child walks into my class and you get the story, oh man, please don't expect much, this is so difficult for me. And they have such a lack of confidence, and by the time they leave your class, they've excelled, they're getting distinctions, and they have this blossoming personality that's just started to develop. That is probably the most amazing, memorable moment of every single year. And obviously when they get their matric results and they're just blown away by what they've actually achieved. Adapting to the vast variety is very difficult, and I think you've got to know each child individually, and I think that's what makes Abbotts superb, is the fact that we have the opportunity to get to know every child. So I don't use a generalization when I approach a child or need to discipline a child. It's understanding where that child's come from, understanding what that child's abilities are, where they emotionally might be backlogged, and then dealing with them on a one-to-one basis. So I never take the class as a whole and reprimand everyone together. It is individually speaking to that person and individually finding out what is the cause of them not doing what is required by me. Having been a student here and a teacher now, it really does. I understand what it feels like coming from schools where you are solely a number and you don't really exist, or you exist on the sport field or the culturing side, but you in the classroom you are just there. So I understand what their transition requires, and knowing what it could mean to their child if they fall into the system completely and experience everything. So from that side of things, it gives me an advantage to watch out for those things and to watch out when they're slipping, because I remember where I used to slip and the behavioural patterns that I learned from the previous schools that I tried to bring here and how that held me back. So all of those little things I think give me an edge to help the kids. Loving. I don't think they are loving the individual for who they are. I think that's the one thing that Abbotts does exceptionally well, is understanding and loving. Doesn't matter what your background is, where you come from, what you are currently doing. It's that exceptional love for you as a person, which I feel the other schools lack. You know, when you look at other schools, the class sizes and the amount of kids that walk through a teacher's class, the load is so big that makes it difficult. Where at Abbotts, my classes are so small that I can love each child for who they are. I don't think it's that they don't want to at other schools, I just think they don't know how with the vast majority of kids that they have. You know, it's always difficult interacting with teachers because you'll have those that you get along really well with, and there's those that you really struggle with, and some that you're really scared of. But the systems that Abbotts has in place makes that communication happen smoothly. Every child's got a mentor, every grade has a grade head, so they start building a relationship with their mentor, which they can then openly and honestly speak to. The mentor then speaks to the grade head, and the grade head could address the teacher. However, we do encourage the children to take responsibility of what they're feeling, and deal with it so that they're ready for the real world. Because when they get to the real world, they have to learn how to deal with these situations. So we give them the support, but try and provide them with the tools as to one day be able to do that on their own, and it results in a good outcome. Why not? Why not Abbotts? Abbotts saved my life. I remember sitting in grade 11 in the third term with no opportunities waiting. I did my tests and they told me I'd never make it to university. Came to Abbotts in the fourth term of grade 11 and I finished my BSc in the required time, started teaching, and that wasn't an option in my previous school. So Abbotts changes lives, and certainly changed mine.